Hello, welcome to our presentation. These are our vloggers.
Hello, my name is Dominique.
Hi everyone, my name is Tani.
Hi, my name is Sam.
Ecological identities stem from one's identification of a range of interpretations of the distinct political issues associated with environmentalism in relation to the larger environmental politics of one's society. An ecological identity may amount to nothing more than a claim about one's empathetic stance towards nature, rather than a claim about one's own given identity as somehow intimately connected with the oppression of nature. An ecological identity more representative of the broader environmental movement would describe a general connection between a politicized aspect of one's personal identity as an environmentalist and some natural object of political concern without necessarily finding this identity in a trait akin to race or gender. Such an answer to the political problems faced by an ecological identity seems only piecemeal, and more importantly, bellies what should be obvious to any progressive ecologist. The point of articulating an ecological identity is not simply to embody one's own environmentalism in a form of identity politics, but to form a basis for coalitions with other progressive, perhaps more attached forms of political identity.
In this vlog, I will be explaining the lifestyle changes I have made to become more environmentally conscious.
My day-to-day life and how I am conscious about the environment. And
Today I will be telling you a little bit about what I do to stay environmentally conscious.
There are ways to change our lifestyle without essentially breaking our budget to do so, especially when not everyone can spend a lot of money when it comes to enjoying the sustainable movement. My first choice was change of diet, so instead of always buying meat as the basis for my meals, I've decided to go on and do vegetables and fruits instead. My other choice was to stop shopping fast fashion. Essentially, the whole aspect of the exploitation of resources and the cheap labor was really just not sitting right anymore with me. It's also the fact that they advertise that they're sustainable, but at the same time they don't really change anything that they do already.
Greenwash products use deceptive eco-friendly jargon without full transparency as a lucrative strategy to appease do-good consumers. As a result, well-intended shoppers unknowingly purchase products after being misled by phony green initiatives that promote unsubstantiated claims. It should come as no surprise then that green lifestyles don't resonate with low-income communities. Being green involves a set of behaviors that are financially or culturally inaccessible to millions of people. This presents a major problem for the environmental movement. If it is going to be successful, environmentalism simply cannot afford to be demographically segregated or isolated from the pathos of economic disparity.
We, and I say this as my family, and I are not quite ready yet to give up our plane trips to, the other side of the world where you can as easily come by train or by bus. We go by plane and then we try to, at the bottom of the page, there's usually like an option to make it a CO2 neutral flight. So we are willing to spend that extra money to be more mindful of the pollution and hope that, that helps slightly. We try to also donate to charities that are, climate activists or stuff like that to really maybe alleviate our guilt, but also help in any way that we can.
People of higher income use more energy and resources than lower earners, regardless of whether they see themselves as eco-friendly or not, according to a German study exploring the role income and environmental awareness play in the eventual consumption of our planet's resources.
I only shop once a year, and that's only when I really need to buy certain stuff. I do most often go towards fast fashion though, because I don't have that much money and it's easier, it's more convenient. But I do try to be aware of it in a way that I just reuse my clothing as often as possible.
You don't need lots of money to live sustainably. People living in the developing world, for example, have a lower carbon footprint than those in the Western world. In fact, it's people residing in the industrialized nations that are responsible for a greater share of consuming the world's resources and global carbon emissions. Thus, sustainable living is not about consuming the fanciest eco-conscious product so as to win the approval and admiration of people within the community. Nor is it a game of one-upmanship. It is about minimizing our environmental footprint and protecting nature. Capitalists have found a way to turn the entire movement into a marketable commodity that consumers can buy into, cleverly manipulating the human desire for social status since it is now seen as cool to be conscious, sustainable, and ethical. If you scroll through Instagram or Facebook, the message being perpetuated is clear. If you purchase a $100,000 Tesla, or $500 ethically designed dress, or book that eco resort located in the Maldives, you will acquire the status of being sustainable, even when you're not actually being that. Thus, it can be said that nature has become a selling tool for all kinds of products, designed ultimately for upper-class leisure. And due to this, we will need comprehensive policies and programs that make low-carbon choices easy and convenient for everyone. Most of all, these policies need to be fair, so that people already struggling to cover the basics are not being asked to make additional sacrifices to offset the excess consumption of the rich. In other words, we need to level the playing field.